Well, would you look at that? A BASF FE1 5-pack. Now, I have two of these 5-packs, and this is the one that I'll be opening for this video. The other one is in much better condition, as you can see. It has a small tear at the top. But I will be talking about BASF and its history in the late 90s as I, talk about this cassette. So in 1995, this particular lineup of cassettes was made, the formulation, the shell, the design, and everything, of the BASF FE1, along with some other tapes such as the FM1, the CS2, TP4, etc. But I know that this is from 1997 because of what's mentioned in the back. But I'll talk about that later. Now, according to vintagecassettes.com, in 1996, just a year after this particular lineup was originally introduced, BASF Magnetics was spun off into BASF into an independent company. And this kind of began its, I suppose you could say, I don't know really, its downfall into, not being a leader in cassette anymore because first of all, cassettes were starting to become very, very unpopular and the CD was beginning to take over in the market. Plus, other Japanese brands such as TDK, Maxell, and Sony were still on the top of the cassette market. And BASF, its only really area is in Europe because, their cassettes weren't super popular in Japan or in other places, and even in Europe, Maxell, Sony, TDK, and all the others were already well established in those areas. So BASF was kind of, I guess you could say, fading into obscurity. What I'm trying to say is BASF was not doing very well, and so were other tape-based companies, magnetics companies. And so, in 1997, BASF turned into Emtec Magnetics after being sold to Cohap Limited, which is a Korean firm. And this right here is an Emtec cassette because at the back, you can see there, I'll try to zoom in a bit, it says right there, made by Emtec Magnetics. Yeah. I'll make it like that. I'll make it stand up so you can see it properly. There it is. Made by Emtec Magnetics in Germany. So there, as you can see there, this is not a BASF cassette. Like, it's not, I guess you could say it's not a pure BASF cassette, although it was still made by the same company that was BASF, and it still has the name of BASF. But yeah, this is owned by Emtec at this point, and eventually these cassettes became Emtec BASF in the brand, and then eventually they turned into purely Emtec. So that's a quick history of BASF from 1995 onwards. And yeah, this is a 1997 BASF FE1. Alright, so now let's take a look at the cassette itself. By the way, this bit with the history, I'm just making it really short because, well, some of you didn't really like my big ramble in the previous video, so I'll just make this quick, and we'll get to the audio test very quickly. Yeah, okay. So let's just check around this because, well, all of these cassettes are apparently individually wrapped as far as I can tell, and the only thing that's keeping them together is the tape here that says 5-pack. It's wrapped around with some kind of plastic, adhesive plastic. I can tell it's adhesive because it's starting to yellow. And yeah, that's what happens to tape when it ages. Yeah, it's some kind of tape with printing on it. So yeah, just 5-pack, 5-pack, and 5-pack here in the back too. It just attaches from the left and the right. Nothing too special really. So I guess that's just a take this off, take off the 5-pack stuff if I can. Wow, some pretty tough tape, man. Yeah, this is rather tough. Oh man, wow, that's very sticky. I can feel it on my hands, but there you go. I'm getting some of it off already. Alright. Oh, I'm just trying to make sure not to harm the plastic of the individual wrappers. Oh. Yeah, it seems the plastic is sticking or something. Oh, yeah. There is a lot of adhesive left on the cassettes, but there, 5-pack. That's one side, but now for the other side. So yeah, you can see here the cassettes are already starting to get off on their own. So let's just take it off. Yeah, you can see there it's that's the barcode. Oh, they tore one part off. Oops. Okay. One part of the tape at least, not of the plastic wrapper. Okay, that's one cassette free. Just 4 more to go. Okay, that's 2. 3, 4, and the final one is the one which we're going to be opening. Five. Alright. So I guess I'll just be keeping this tape just for, I don't know, storage, collection purposes rather. Maybe. But I do still have another 5-pack, which is in much better condition in my collection, so I might just throw these away along with the wrapper of this, but I don't know. Then the rest of these, I'll probably use these for like mixtapes for friends or something. Because, I don't really have that, many, still sealed cassettes, which I have a lot of. Mostly just this and the Max cells from earlier and some other TDKs. Anyway, let's look at the wrapper itself. So, let's zoom in a bit. BASF, fantastic sound. FE1 Ferro Extra position normal. 90. IEC1. Oh, sticking to the tape. You can see there on the top, open, and the over or something. BASF Ferro Extra. Registered trademark of BASF. I don't even want to try to pronounce that. Aktiengesellschaft or something. 67056 Ludwigshafen, Germany or something. Yeah, I apologize if I butchered that pronunciation. I apologize to all of the Germans watching this. BASF, and then some kind of serial number on the side here as well, BASF, but in black, not clear. Because you can see here, yeah, this is really intended to be clear. It's like their gimmick or something. And the other side is actually printed. Here, BASF FE1 Ferro Extra, fantastic sound. This is the wrapper. This is clear because, this is one of the few cassettes in which, in the 90s, where the bit here on the J card still has something on it. Because a lot of cassettes in the 90s, they put a lot less effort into making the J cards, and this was just left blank with maybe just the name of the cassette. And then it's intended to, you're supposed to put something on it, like the track listing or the title of your mixtape. Yeah, I'm sure you know that already though. And let's look at the back now. BASF FE1 Ferro Extra, position normal IEC1, and it says it's a 3-star tape for listening to on your Walkman, your car stereo, your boombox, and your hi-fi setup. That's just what I'm assuming, at least based on the images. And then here it's a bunch of languages. Let's just grab the English one. You can see there it's not actually, the English one isn't actually first. It's perhaps that's a German version at the top, because BASF is German. But anyway, low tape noise, faithful sound reproduction, high precision, heat resistant mechanics. And it's a bunch of other languages. I'm guessing that's German, English, maybe that's French, and then Spanish, something. I don't know. I'm really bad with languages. If anyone knows, just let me know. I'll leave this there for a bit so you can see it. Yeah, okay, just pause the video. Here you can see here it says Comfort Slim Box, and their ranking of the Type 1s is the FE one, which is their entry level, and the FM one, which is not so entry level. It's their, I'm guessing it's either their mid-range cassette or it's their very best, in terms of Type 1 at least. Yeah, it is their best, apparently, the top of the line in 1995, 7, yeah, 5 and 7. This is their plastic classification, PP. It's one of those plastics which I believe can be microwaved. Yeah, it's the same type of stuff used in food, apparently, I think. It's number 5 in the plastic classification or something. Anyway, made by Emtec Magnetics. Yeah, I already told you about that earlier. But yeah, made by Emtec in what I believe is Ludwigshafen in Germany. I really don't know how to pronounce it, but anyway. Now I guess it's time to open up this cassette. So let's do just that. Okay. I'll just open it by the tear. I don't really mind what happens to it, because it's a very cheap wrapper, and it's not even one of those with the thread on the side. So I'll just rip it open. Doesn't really matter what I do to it. Oh wow, what's up with this? Come on, go. There you go. Alright. There you go. Ain't that nice, huh? What's weird about this is that the cassette is not, it's side B on the front, and I have to flip it around to have side A. And it seems this cassette has definitely been through a lot, because there's a crack on the window. Although, all of the wrapping is still intact, at least relatively intact. So it's had a rather rough life, but it's still a cassette, and it's still alive, I guess. The tape isn't too bad. Now, I will say that this may be actual BASF tape, but the cassette shell and the cassette case are probably OEM'd from a Korean company such as SKC or Saihan. I don't 100% remember which one it is, but I believe it's one of the two, either SKC or Saihan, because of the hubs. You can see the hubs there, they are not normal BASF hubs. And I believe I've seen these hubs on, other OEM cassettes. Plus this case is also part of their, also one of the OEMs. Yeah, and the shell is just, it's quite hard plastic. I will say that, I will admit. But not really the best. No, I wouldn't say that. But anyway, for now, let's look at the wrapper, the J card first, and the stickers. Let's move all of these out first, okay? All of you, yeah, okay. FE1 Ferro Extra. I'll just put this on there. It's probably easier that way. Yeah. FE1 Ferro Extra Heat Resistant Precision Housing there. Precision housing. And position normal IEC1 on both sides there. I apologize for such a shaky camera. Yeah. It's pretty tough to see these with the camera just, you know, standing up, because I don't have a tripod on this. My camera is just straight up on the on the table. Anyway, BASF, you can see there, BASF by Emtec. Yeah, you see that? By Emtec. Because this was when BASF was bought by the Korean company, and it's called now BASF by Emtec, and eventually they just completely changed their name to Emtec. So that's why I know it's from 1997 or around that time, 97, 98 maybe. FE1 Ferro Extra, fantastic sound. And at the back here, just your normal stuff really. Position normal IEC1, date and time of recording, mono or stereo, noise reduction on or off, then just your track listing on all of those lines over there. If I flip the J card over, it's basically the same thing really. FE1 Ferro Extra, yeah, just the same as the other side. But here you can write on it. Yeah, FE1 Ferro Extra. And then this is around, you can see here, you can write, you have to select what length it is, 46, 60, 80, 90, 100, or 120. Because, like I said earlier, this is around the time when cassettes were competing with CDs and they were basically already on the losing end. And, well, companies had to cut a lot of costs, and so it was more economical for them to just make the same J card for every single cassette instead of making a different one for every, you know, cassette length. And so that's why, for example, on this wrapper here, you can also see that it never mentions the length of the cassette on the wrapper. It stays clear so you can see on this side the length of the cassette on the actual cassette. That's another method of cost. Wow, that's another way as to how they cut costs in the company when, you know, they were losing money really. They made the same wrapper for every cassette and the same J card for every cassette. Yeah, you can see there. Yeah, you have to select on your own what kind of cassette you have. Really, yeah, terrible. But that's how the market was in the 90s, so yeah. And it's the same track labeling thing as earlier. Let's flip that back now. Put the cassette down. Put the J card back into here. Into the case. And you can see the stickers as well. A lot lower effort than previously, you know, other generations. It's literally just A, B, then 0 through 9. You know, on plain white sticker paper. Very, very low effort, but well, that's what you get when you're losing money, right? You have to cut a lot of costs and maximize as much profit as you can get to at least break even. Anyway, let's look at the cassette itself now. FE1 Ferro Extra, fantastic sound, 90 BASF on the top there. And that's it really. A on this side and B on the other side. Fantastic sound, IEC 190 tape FE1 made in Germany. Yeah, it's kind of weird how they made the printing a different design on both sides, because you can see here on the top, on side A, it's just FE1 Ferro Extra, but on side B, it's tape FE1 made in Germany. It's kind of weird. And it's also kind of weird how they just flipped it around on the other side, because usually on other cassettes, what's on the right on side A is also gonna be on the right in side B. But in this case, you can see there, see the two BASFs. What's on the right on side A is on the left on side B. Yeah, kind of weird, but anyway. That's how it was. That's how they made their design. And now, finally, let's look at the tape itself. You can see here, in the leader, it's just clear with this generic sponge, which I still believe is OEM'd. I still believe it's OEM'd, but anyway. Let's turn the bic. You can see there now that this is another generic OEM'd splicing tape. Again, I don't exactly know where it's from, but it's definitely OEM'd in my opinion. But this may still be BASF tape. Anyway, it's very brown, which definitely, it really signifies cobalt doped ferric, meaning, the actual ferric oxide tape was doped with cobalt metal, and that of course increases the tape mole, and it allows it to be driven with more level. And mole, of course, is maximum output level, meaning the maximum intensity of the signal that can be added or placed or recorded on the tape before the tape actually saturates and distorts in terms of sound. And so yeah, this is the maximum output level of the cassette. It never actually mentions it. There's no metrics on the wrapper. Although I remember in older cassettes, like in TDKs especially, there were graphs showing the maximum output level, but in the 90s, of course, they started to care a bit less because, again, cut costs, and yeah, they just wanted to appeal to a newer generation who was, again, mostly focused on CDs at that time. That's why they were, trying to push this whole thing about being good for, every occasion and having fantastic sound and whatnot. Anyway, that's enough of that rambling there. And that's about it for this cassette. And so now let's head over to the Pioneer TD7 cassette deck and let's talk about, or rather, let's take a look at the audio test. So, yeah, let's do that. Alright, so now let's get into the audio test for the 1997 BASF FE1 Ferro Extra, also by Emtec. So let's put this in the Pioneer TD7 and fast forward it a bit and do the auto calibration. So let's do that now. In there. Fast forward just a little bit, just so any wear or aging stuff on the first bits of tape don't affect the sound or whatever, because I've seen on some cassettes the first bit is a bit worse than the rest, so yeah, that's got to be more than enough now. So while we're doing that, let's talk about today's track. This is on the YouTube audio library. It's called Frank's Last Chase by DJ Williams. Now, the YouTube audio library classifies it as a jazz and blues track, but in my opinion, it's more of it kind of reminds me of city pop from, Japan in the 80s and 90s, that kind of sound. That's what it kind of reminds me of, but anyway. Yeah, let's just test the audio on this cassette. It's going to peak at around +3, and yeah, let's do that right now. Grab this, reset, okay, play. So, what do I think about this cassette? Well, in my opinion, it's very decent. It definitely suffered a lot in the high frequencies. Absolutely, like you can very clearly hear that. Like the cymbals were just not as trebly as they should be. And I did hear a little bit of saturation as well in the tape. So, yeah, it's probably best not to push it so far, as far as, +3. It's probably going to sound better if you make it maybe +1 or just 0. But yeah, it's not exceptional, but it's definitely a very decent Type 1 cassette. Rather, very decent entry level Type 1. It's definitely not as good as others that I've heard, but yeah, it's definitely a very it's a good enough entry level Type 1. So there you go. There you have it. Yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And yeah, that's about it for the BASF Emtec FE1 from 1997. And yeah, so now for just some announcements on the about the channel. First of all, I apologize for my voice. I actually have a cold right now. But don't worry, it's not COVID. It's nothing bad. Don't worry about me. Please do not worry about anything. Yeah, I'm doing fine. It's just, just a small cold. And, yeah, and next month, because right now it's the last week of June, right? Let me just check my calendar really quickly. Yeah, this is the part where it's like, a bit more laid back than the rest. Yeah. So Saturday, yeah, that's June 25. Next week it's already gonna be July. But yeah, two things. Number one, July is gonna be another film month. Yeah, I'm gonna be making a bunch of videos about film photography again. I've shot a lot of film ever since I started. I started shooting film on, as it says here, January 2022. And ever since that day, I've shot 30 rolls, so that's quite a lot, and they're all 36 exposures, so you do the math. Yeah. So, 30 rolls times 37, I'll put 37 because, usually they add a bit more film. And yeah, I've shot approximately 1,110 photos on film. That's quite a lot, but anyway. Yeah, I have like a SSD now with all of my film photos. But anyway, yeah, next month will be film month, and aside from that, I'll be announcing that in every single month, on the last week of every month, I'm going to be showcasing all of the photos I took, film or digital, which I took during that month. So next week may be July 2, but on that week I'll be making a video on my best film photos from June. And then second week of July, I'll be making a video on these things. Fomapan Retro Edition. Yeah, the relatively new film lineup of Fomapan is basically just Fomapan 100, 200, and 400, except they are repackaged to look retro. Yeah, I quite like their design there, but we'll get more into that in the video itself. Third week of July, I'm going to be talking about trichrome photography. Yeah, trichrome. If you don't know what that is, Google it. I was introduced to it by the YouTube channel Attic Dark Room. Very good channel. Yeah, well, of course I never got in contact with him, but his videos, that's what got me into trichrome photography. I've been taking quite a lot recently, but yeah, let's reserve that for the third week of July. Now, the fourth Saturday of July, I don't actually know what I'm gonna be doing there. I'm probably going to make a video on either my Pentax ME Super camera or my Olympus Pen EE2. And then July has a fifth Saturday. And that's when I'm going to be talking about my best photographs from that month. So that's the entire July planned out. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. 5 Saturdays in a month. Yeah, quite a long month indeed. Well, not really a long month, just 31 days, but you know what I mean. Yeah. I don't really have much else to say right now. I'm currently shooting this roll right here, Fomapan 200 Retro Edition. And by the end of this week, or probably by the end of next week, I'll be done with all 3 rolls. I've already shot the 100, so now it's just the 200 and the 400 left. And I'll be comparing them to shots that I've taken with normal Fomapan, which are not packaged in the retro edition packaging. But I'm pretty sure they're just the same thing anyway, it's just different design, but you know, I'll still take a look at all of them. I apologize as well if this video seems a little bit more rushed than the others. The thing is, I have a chess tournament on Saturday, and so I haven't really had much time to, you know, to plan out this video, make like notes for the whole thing. So I'm really just doing the whole thing off the top of my head, aside from, well, except of course for the whole research bit, but it's just a very small part of the video anyway. It's very quick, just a quick search on vintagecassettes.com. But yeah, I have a chess tournament on Saturday, and so this video is not as high effort as some of the others may have been, but rest assured, July I am completely free, and so yeah, on July you'll be having, I'll be making much more high quality, much higher quality videos, hopefully at least, hopefully. But yeah. Well, what more can I say? Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can check out a playlist of some of my other cassette videos up here in the corner. And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. I nearly forgot. I hope you're all having a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.